heard before about seasonal affective disorder. Usually it's in conversation during the winter months with extended periods of dark and cold. But how exactly is that disorder impacting people in the summer? Well, Judy Wright is here to tell us about this. Good morning, Judy. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning to you.
So to start us off here this morning, can you tell me a little bit about the summer blues? Normally you hear about the winter blues, but what does that mean for summertime?
Yeah, well, you just kind of cased it there. It's something that is impacting people during the summer. It's at a lower frequency. It is still called seasonal affective disorder, and so it does have that depressive side, but it's at a far lower frequency. And as you said before, where we're more familiar with is the wintertime blues or the seasonal affective disorder that happens in the winter.
For sure. And what are some of the symptoms of this?
Okay, so you'll find people, they feel more sad, anxious, irritable, a little fussy, usually having less interest in, a lot of their activities, and really having difficulty sleeping.
What are some of the causes that might lead to this?
Okay, so you usually, as we kind of mentioned, it's more light in the summertime, and that really flips us around with our circadian rhythms because we've got more light in the morning. We're usually waking up a little bit more earlier, and then also we're out doing things a little bit later in the day. So that just messes up our circadian rhythm. The other thing that impacts us is the heat. So you'll find that that'll kind of get people a little fussy, and even if you have air conditioning, people aren't sleeping as well. So that kind of screws things around a bit. And then most of us, because winter, we're kind of usually not doing as much and we want to grab onto those summertime hours, we're usually trying to commit to lots of social activities and engagements, and kids are running around and that kind of thing. So we're usually overextending ourselves in the summer.
Absolutely. And what are some of the main differences between winter and summer?
That's a really good question. So the winter time, you'll find people are more lethargic, have less energy, and then they're sleeping a lot more, where it's kind of the reverse with summertime. People are a little bit more agitated, a little bit more fussy, and they have a lot of difficulty sleeping. So that's the main differences between those two.
For sure. And if you're noticing either yourself or someone else being impacted by this, what are a couple ways that you can help them?
Oh, for sure. So we're really kind of trying to grab that sleep thing, try and help us out. So blackout curtains are a really good thing. Watching all those lights that are in our bedrooms, even covering them up with a towel or something. Staying away from our phones before bed so we're not interrupting that. And I would stay away from the sleep masks. I know a lot of people try to use them, but there's a lot of research that is saying that it's really difficult on our eyes because our eyes, seep during the night, to weep a little bit to help it regulate. And if you're sensitive to glaucoma, that can really cause a lot of issues there. So just maybe trying to manage it in a little bit more physical ways to try and get that a little bit darker and getting ourselves into bed a little earlier.
Of course. Judy, thank you so much for being here with us this morning and giving us some insight on this.
No, you're more than welcome.